New York Congresswoman Nicole Malliotakis to break all this down. Congresswoman, walk me through this. You've got Governor Hochul now fighting against President Trump. Where is this going to end? I mean, Trump is now threatening to withhold money to the state of New York to try to get his agenda through, but they continue to push back. Your thoughts?
Well, President Trump is absolutely right to cancel congestion pricing. As a matter of fact, the Biden administration rubber stamped that program without even requiring an environmental impact statement that's required by federal law. And it's a first in the nation program. And this was a tax on hardworking New Yorkers, our first responders, restaurant workers, hospital workers, people who have to go in for a healthcare appointment, all would be slammed with this toll to enter the city center and the city in which they live. So I applaud President Trump for getting rid of this regressive working class tax on New Yorkers. But secondly, President Trump is also right to say that we should not be funding the free luxury hotel rooms for migrants that the mayor has chosen to provide. This was a significant cost to the taxpayers. It amounted to about $12 billion. And it was inappropriate for the mayor in the very beginning to insist that citizens of other countries were entitled to free housing in New York City when we have a homeless crisis like so many other cities. But in addition to that, they even went so far as to house criminals, people who were arrested for crimes, gang members, drug traffickers, people who shot at police officers, assaulted police officers. They were arrested, they were released back onto the streets, and they go back to the luxury hotel room that you and I as taxpayers are paying for. Not to mention, Laken Riley's murderer was somebody who was being housed here in New York City, committed a crime, and was released back onto the street instead of being turned over to ICE. He then boarded a Biden administration-funded flight to Georgia, and he was free on the street to kill Laken Riley, a 100% preventable crime.
Congresswoman, do you see this being this battle brewing? Is it going to escalate here between the governor and President Trump? I mean, Trump is working with the mayor, New York City Mayor Eric Adams, on trying to get his immigration policy through. But do you see that this might escalate between the governor and President Trump?
It's quite possible because the governor is always on the wrong side of almost every issue. She's wrong on congestion pricing. She's wrong on sanctuary state policy. She's wrong on the bail law that has released dangerous people onto our streets. And quite frankly, she's wrong on Eric Adams as well. As much as I've criticized the mayor and I do not support his policies, they've been very misguided for our city. She is wrong to try to go in there and remove him by force, as opposed to just allowing an election to take place come this November. Let the people decide, not the governor, who the next mayor should be.
And the governor was on Face the Nation here this morning. I want to play the soundbite, get your reaction on the other side. She's talking about what the lawsuits here between the Trump administration. Watch.
We're not going to sit idly by and let our rights be attacked.
It was a little bit longer than that, but essentially she's saying that there's things that we're going to stand up for as New Yorkers, but at the same time we'll work with the Republicans and the Trump administration on other things. Can you have your cake and eat it too? Can you pick and choose which policies you want to go and abide by?
You know, the president protecting hardworking New Yorkers from a regressive toll, that is not attacking the state of New York. That is actually helping the actual citizens. This governor has a history of ignoring the will of the people. Even when we voted for a public referendum saying we didn't want political gerrymandering, we didn't want same-day voter registration, we didn't want no-excuse absentee ballots. What did the governor do? She jammed them through anyway. This is somebody who ignores the will of New Yorkers, and that's why I believe she will be defeated next year, because President Trump right now has higher poll numbers than she does in her own state, and it is considered a blue state. It is a blue state, but yet President Trump is polling higher than both our mayor and our governor. Why? Because he's actually listening to the people who are saying they don't want foreign gangs and criminals on our streets. They don't want criminals to be released onto our streets after an arrest, that they don't want more tolls and taxation that take more of their hard-earned money, and they don't want energy costs that are skyrocketing as a result of Kathy Hochul's policies, her Green New Deal policies that have dismantled traditional energy, like the closing of the nuclear power plant, Indian Point, as well as refusing to allow gas plants to expand in New York.
Lastly, I want to ask you, she had a very big decision to make, the governor, whether or not she would remove the Mayor Eric Adams, over, his charges being dismissed by the Trump administration, the DOJ. Why do you think that she did not remove the mayor? Is she letting politics play out here?
Look, who knows what? It's definitely political, because that's the only thing that motivates this woman. It has to be about politics. She never does what is the right thing for our city or for our state. But here you had a lot of pushback from Republicans and Democrats saying that this was wrong and that she does not have the authority to remove the mayor and who had not been convicted of anything, and instead she should actually allow the election to take place. If this was another year or two, perhaps it could be a different story, because a lot of damage is being done to the city. But we have an election just a few months from now, which I don't even believe that the mayor is going to end up running for re-election. Let the people choose who the next mayor is. This is just the governor trying to impose her will again on the people of New York, and I'm glad she got bipartisan pushback.
We shall see what happens next. It seems like it's quite the drama here playing out in New York City, but
it always is when the Democrats are in charge.